Did you watch the trailer for The Devil All the Time before watching this movie? Because I didn't. And once I got this thing going, I was asking myself, Tim, what the hell did you just get yourself into? All right, The Devil All the Time on Netflix was directed by Antonio Campos. It does star Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, Jason Clarke, as well as many other people. Sebastian Stan, isn't it? Is it Sebastian Stan? Was he the Winter Soldier in the Captain America movies? I think he was. He was in it also. He plays a sheriff in this movie. Just overall, great acting all around from this entire cast. It's something I was not expecting. Like I said, I didn't watch the trailer before I queued this movie up. I know YouTube had pushed the trailer to me a few times, and I've just been ignoring it. I finally did sit down and finally watch the movie. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. With everything terrible about this movie, it actually made it good at the same time. I really don't know the best way to articulate why I feel the way I do about this movie. So let's just get right into it, okay? First things first, this feels like it is actually three different movies that are kind of stitched together. The first 40 minutes, you're dealing with Bill Skarsgård, his character, and what happens with his arc in the movie. And then it moves on to probably about 40 to 45 minutes into it before Tom Holland or Robert Pattinson even join the cast here. It literally takes that long to get it started. But once that happens, you actually feel like you're watching a second movie. And during that time, you've also got Jason Clarke's character that is going on during both timelines. And really kind of feels like three movies just kind of all stitched together there. Ultimately, the only reason this isn't called A Series of Unfortunate Events is because that title was already taken. This is quite possibly the saddest movie that I have ever watched. A lot of your main cast dies in this movie. There's quite a few suicides in this movie. It just overall is a very sad, depressing movie. But it all adds to the story. You know, nothing that I can think of, no deaths in this movie took away from the story. They all kind of added to it and helped the movie kind of propel itself forward here. So one thing that I found a little funny during this movie is that the narrator is giving you story or dialogue throughout the entire movie. Most movies, they have a little bit of dialogue in the beginning, a little bit at the end. This guy, he actually goes through the entire length of the movie. I'm not really used to that happening in movies, so I thought it was a little strange. Doing a little studying on the movie here, come to find out that the narrator is actually the guy that wrote the book. His name is, I got it written down here, Donald Ray Pollock. And to be honest with you, this movie takes place in Ohio and West Virginia. And this, having lived there for several years earlier in my life, this guy definitely sounds like he's from that neck of the woods up there. One scene in particular that made me a little, I take that back. It made me really uncomfortable to watch. There is a character in this movie that has a jar full of spiders. And to prove a point, for those of you with arachnophobia, to prove this point that this character is making, he actually takes this jar of spiders and he empties it and dumps it all over his head. Found that very difficult to watch. This whole movie, there's a lot of tension during the entire movie here. You're sitting there, I probably asked myself or thought to myself, what the F multiple times while this movie was going on. The tension all adds to the story though. Like I said earlier, everything that is done in this movie is literally just driving it forward. Another thing this movie does is it flip-flops through time just a little bit, just going back and forth a tiny little bit. Once you get propelled so far along, it wants to give you a little bit of backstory, so that it actually takes you back to see what happened to make that character behave the way they did, or kind of gives you an additional amount of knowledge about why they're acting and the way they act. Overall, it's one of these movies that I actually want to go and read the book now after having watched this. I don't think this is a movie that anyone is ever going to watch a second time. Not saying it is not a great movie, because I truly did feel that it was great, but this movie is so sad. There is nothing in this movie that gave me joy, but just to have that extra little bit of knowledge about what was going on with this, I actually do want to go back and I would like to read the book. So anyway, there's that. The whole thing, overall, they did a superb job. All of the actors, top notch. Robert Pattinson, I read some articles where he's getting a little bit of shit from people about his kind of accent that he's doing there. And to be honest, not every single person talked the exact same way. And I think when his character is introduced, I can't remember if they actually said he's from West Virginia. So there's always that possibility that accent he was doing may not necessarily be a West Virginian accent. I don't know. Overall, I did find it to where I wanted to finish this movie. At no point did I ever think to myself, you know, Tim, you probably should just stop. It's wasting your time. Never once thought that a single bit. The director did an amazing job. All of the actors, they gave it their all. It was well written. Obviously, there's some people that this movie is not for. Say, for example, it's Netflix and chill night. Guess what? Not going to happen with this movie, okay? You know, if you're just looking for a family show to sit down and watch with the whole group, probably, again, you know, you'll get 10, 15, maybe up to 20 minutes into it, and you're going to say, let's pull back a little bit. Let's go find something a little bit more comfortable for the whole family to watch. Either way, I do give this movie here a thumbs up. I don't have a rating scale yet or how I'm going to rate movies, but I do recommend you go and at least watch this one time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little bell icon. That way you get notified when I drop new videos. Give me a like if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. Let me know if you did like this content, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.